G'day guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for the support on the first post we put out, first video we put out. Got a much better response out of that than I thought I would, to be honest, so it was really good. Yeah, still cold and crappy here in SA, so we're going to go back in the snake room and do a couple of things, and as usual bringing you guys along. Let's go. Alright, back in the snake room. We've got a few things to get through today that I'll bring you guys along with. We've got yeah, a few more cleaning. It never ends in here. Obviously, like winter time now where we're at now, the feeding slows down in here. We don't feed too much, even though the temperature is about 20 degrees in here now, where outside it's probably about 8. So it is quite nice in here. But yeah, obviously the general ambient temp drops in here. We on some enclosures will be turning down temperatures at night time or turning it off to stimulate different times of the year, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, we don't generally feed all year round. Most of the elapids will sort of keep feeding, but it'll just slow down. Whereas the pythons, most of them I just let completely go with no food for a few months just to stimulate yeah, natural behaviours and all that sort of stuff. We've got a pair of Woma Pythons that I've got paired up at the moment, so I'll unpair them in this video. They're due to come away. They've been together for a week or so, and previously before that they were together for a week or so before, probably 2 or 3 weeks before that. Those guys go for me every year. The female produces probably was 8 to 10 eggs pretty regularly every season. That so far it's only the thing that I'm really breeding at the moment. I'm thinking about maybe pairing up a few other things, but I'll keep that a secret for now. But at the moment, yeah, just the Woma Pythons that I've paired up this season so far. So we'll clean a few things and yeah, unpair the Womas, and yeah, we'll see what else happens. So grab a hook, most important tool in the snake room. We've got a mulga king brown snake. Scientific name is Pseudechus australis. I'll pull him out. This guy is a Renmark locality snake, so yeah, that's one of my favourite species to work with and to keep, is the mulga, and hopefully over time I can keep a few different localities. Not into all that morph stuff that you get with pythons and that sort of stuff. I used to be, but not anymore. I'm really into the locality stuff. So yeah, keeping something like a Renmark mulga. I've got a little St. George locality mulga as well, which they're pretty common in the hobby. But hopefully you can get our hands on a few more as time goes on. But yeah, we'll pull this mulga out. So we'll just wait for this mulga to come back down. Wherever he is, somewhere there. Problem with these vision enclosures, they got a little lip at the top up here. I can hear him carrying on, so they go up there and hide up there, so you got to be careful with that. He was down, but then yeah, he's gone. There he is. Oops. There we go. There is our Pseudechus australis king brown. Put him in the secure tub. I'll hide back in. Not very exciting with the hides. These are literally paint trays that you get from Mitre 10. I got that from, and just cut a hole in the front of it, but it works well. I think we do every week too. Fresh water. Probably about once a month we sterilise all of the tubs and the water containers and that sort of stuff. We'll get spray them, disinfect them all about once a month, something like that. Yeah, fresh water just as important as food. You can't just obviously they never drink it all. Generally speaking, they'll tip it over before they drink it all. But yeah, to having fresh water, sort of obviously just refreshing it is better. Obviously it just gets stale and sitting there and it's probably not that attractive to actually drink. You find it a lot if water's been sitting there for a few days, then you swap it out, the snake will be straight on it and having a drink. So that's why it's important to swap it over. Even if it's full, not empty, we still swap it out every week. All right, let's pull this mulga out. All right, I'll give you another little look. Oh. Black snakes really like coming back on them. They're not real quick at coming back on themselves, but they're really strong and they can get up to a point, yeah, coming back on themselves, and they can launch from there. So they're not like real whippy at the start of their like when they come up on themselves, but they'll get up to a point and then really be able to launch from that point. So they can sort of catch you out a little bit. They'll be a bit slow and then they'll go from there. But we'll get this fella back in. Really nice snake, this guy. Pretty well behaved. Alright, time for the red-bellied black. This is the only red belly I've got. I did have another nice Queensland red belly, but I was kind enough to give it to a friend of mine, Wills, who he was looking. He just got his venomous permit and was hanging for a snake. So I thought I'd give him my better red belly because just cause. But we'll pull out this guy. This is the one I've had for a few years now. And made an absolute mess. I've had him probably don't know how long I've had him, probably 3 or 4 years. But yeah, he's nice little red belly. Hey, fatty. See if I can't. Got this gimbal thing going on the camera. It follows my face, which doesn't help when I helps with this stuff. It doesn't help when I actually get the snake out because then it concentrates on my face when I want to show you the snake. But yeah, the story behind this snake, pretty placid. I've had him. Oh, don't do that. You're a dingbat. I don't know if you can see, he's just gone through the handle of the bloody lid. Come on. Yeah, there we go. Alright. Yeah, this guy here, big red belly, or fairly big red belly. He was quite overweight when I got him, so he went on a bit of a diet, which he wasn't happy about. He's got some significant sort of things happening with his belly, which doesn't have quite a red belly, and he's got had a bit of scarring on his belly, so not entirely sure how that came about. But he's had a pretty good life since he's been here. Loves a feed, and quite a nice looking little red belly, or half decent sized red belly. Might be wondering why I don't have locks on these enclosures. Well, with our rules and regs that we have for our venomous keeping permit, if this was in a open, unlocked room or open area, yes, these would have to have locks on them. But with our permits, the room is locked. It's also in a building, a shed that's also locked again, and there's an airlock. So there's 2 doors, technically 3 different sections. You got the main building, which is locked to get into, and then the first door to actually get into this part of the building is locked by key, which I've only got the only one with the key. And you can get in, and there's actually another door which isn't locked, but there's another barrier between that and the snake, which means none of these technically have to be locked. But I'm the only one with the key to get in here. So last part of this episode, we're going to unpair the Womas. Alright, and then this doesn't normally happen. I wanted to take the male out of the female enclosure for the Womas, and then I would have taken, I swapped out the substrate on the male's one before I went to put him back in there, went to try and put him back in there, and then I was stuffing around the camera quickly, and they both ended up in the male enclosure, which has in turn done me a favour because now I can swap over the substrate in the female while they're both gone down into there. Alright, we'll put, now you're both in the other enclosure. Well, you, mate, you got to stay there. And you've got to come with me, lady. You go back in there. She can be a little bit cantankerous with food generally, so she should be in mating season, but in mating mood, so she shouldn't be too bad, but they can, yeah, it's a female Woma. Mate, you stay in there. Alright, a couple more jobs done. Yeah, cleaned up a few snakes, sorted out the Womas for now. Hopefully, yeah, we'll get eggs at some point, but it'll be a few months off yet. So, alright, we will leave that episode there. Yeah, something just, yeah, a bit different there. We'll go, next video will probably be a bit of feeding. I'll probably introduce you properly to the lace monitors. And a few of the young death adders that I've got as well. So we'll bring that out on the next episode. But until then, yeah, we'll see you on the next one.